Have you ever felt that quiet ache deep within your chest when someone's words or actions just don't make sense? Perhaps they were sharp, unexpectedly cold, or dismissive. You replay the scene in your mind, searching for logic, for a reason, and in that bewildered state, a quiet judgment often begins to form. Why would they say that? You whisper to yourself. How could they be so thoughtless, so unkind, so different from what I expect? This internal questioning, this silent attempt to decipher and condemn, can be incredibly draining. We construct scenarios, assign motives, and in so doing, we often build invisible walls around ourselves. We carry the weight of perceived slights, the frustration of misunderstanding, and the heavy burden of trying to make sense of another person's seemingly illogical world through our own very personal lens. It's a lonely place, isn't it? This space of constant interpretation and often misinterpretation. We feel exhausted, not just by the interaction itself, but by the relentless churn of our own minds attempting to process, to defend, to understand an experience that feels so disconnected from our own. But what if we're looking through the wrong lens entirely? What if the why isn't about you, or even about a deliberate act of malice, but about an entirely different landscape, hidden from your view? Imagine for a moment that every single person you encounter, every single soul on this journey with you, is carrying an invisible backpack. Inside this backpack are their past hurts, the quiet betrayals they've endured, their secret fears that stir in the dead of night, their unfulfilled dreams, their deep-seated insecurities, and the countless small anxieties that wake them before the dawn. You can't see this backpack. It has no visible straps, no obvious weight, but its contents, its unseen burden, profoundly shape their posture, their steps, their every word, and their every reaction. Their sharp word, then, might not be a direct arrow aimed at your heart. It might be a ripple from a heavy stone dropped into their own turbulent pond hours, days, or even years ago. Their sudden aloofness, which feels like a personal rejection, could be a protective shield, carefully constructed from a history of past betrayals. Their anger, expressed with a force that startles you, could very well be a desperate, inarticulate cry from a place of profound fear or deep vulnerability within their own being. When we pause, just for a single breath, and choose to consider that there is an entire, complex, and often pain-filled world residing within another person, a world about which we know next to nothing, the sharp edges of our own judgment begin, almost imperceptibly, to soften. This is not about excusing harmful behavior or condoning actions that inflict pain. It is about understanding the root, the deeper currents beneath the surface. It is about recognizing that every human being, at their fundamental core, is navigating their own unique wilderness, seeking connection, yearning for safety, and striving for some semblance of understanding, even if their current expression of these innate needs is messy, distorted, or even hurtful. Their actions, quite often, are not a personal statement about your worth or your character. Instead, they are a silent, complex map of their inner landscape, drawn by experiences you can never fully grasp. This profound shift in perspective, this turning towards quiet empathy, is incredibly liberating. It frees you from the exhausting burden of taking everything personally, of feeling the constant need to defend or to retaliate. It allows you to step back from the emotional battlefield, to observe with a quiet curiosity rather than immediate condemnation. The invisible walls you might have unconsciously built around your heart begin to crumble, not because you are letting your guard down carelessly, but because the intense need for such fortifications simply diminishes. You discover a quiet, resilient strength and compassion, a boundless spaciousness in your heart that was once constricted by judgment. You find that by granting others the grace of their unseen struggles, you grant yourself the grace of peace. We may never truly comprehend every nuance of another person's intricate journey, nor are we expected to. And that, in itself, is perfectly okay. The true secret to understanding people without judgment isn't about achieving full, absolute comprehension of their every thought and feeling. Rather, it is the quiet, powerful acceptance that their inner world is as vast, as complex, and as layered as your own. It is about choosing, deliberately, to see the human beneath the behavior, the quiet struggle beneath the loud reaction, the hidden vulnerability beneath the hardened exterior. It is about offering a silent, gentle understanding, not necessarily because they, by our own often rigid metrics, deserve it, but because, while we deserve the profound, tranquil peace that this kind of open-heartedness brings. And in that quiet understanding, in that spaciousness of heart, we discover a profound, transformative truth. By extending compassion to the unseen struggles of others, we are, in a deeply resonant way, healing a part of ourselves. We come home to a calmer, more expansive version of our being, no longer burdened by the exhausting need to judge, to fix, or to decode, but liberated by the quiet, radiant power of empathy. This is the path to truly seeing, and truly being seen, in a world yearning for connection.